Sarah back on the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel with some new fun products. So there was a new release yesterday, and there was a bunch of these fun stencils and coordinating die cuts. But today we're going to use the Damask Meraki motifs. Yes, we are. It is such a pretty image, and it has a coordinating die cut as well, which I love. But we're going to start by getting some cardstock and some inks out. So I'm going to be using a variety of Pinkfresh inks, and we are also probably going to add in a little bit of teal, because I'm loving this color combination right now. And this I think is more summery with olives, but the Tidal Pond is just, oh, so delicious. And I'm a little bit extra, so I do have a blending brush for each color, so I don't get color contamination. I just like these. If you're interested, these ones are actually from the Rabbit Hole Designs. So I really enjoy them. They are really great, and they're white, which I love as well. So yes, but here we are going to get our 5 stencils out, and we are going to start with number 1 because 1 is always first. And I have a piece of cardstock here that is 5 inches wide. The stencil is 6, so you can actually place the stencil on top, and then on the back you add some post-it tape or low-tack washi tape, or even like painter tape, to hold it in place. I much prefer adding my sticky stuff to the back of my cardstock, just in case it rips or kind of leaves sticky residue on the front. So that is a top tip from me when it comes to layering stencils. But first, now we are going to get into our ink blending. So I am going to start by making a big bunch of yellow flowers. So we're going to start with our lightest color of the 4 colors that come in each sort of color family. I'm saying color a lot, aren't I? But so this first one is a lemon whip, and then we're gonna go in with a little bit of the sweet mustard, just to kind of go around the edges to kind of give it a little bit more depth. So this is not a required step. This is, again, if you're just a little bit extra like me. So we are going to then clean off some of that excess ink from the stencil. This is purely optional. You do not need to do this, but I don't know. I just feel like if I leave it on there, I'm much more likely to touch it and then make a mess on something else. So it's just kind of one of those like little safety things. For stencil number 2, we're actually going to go for color number 3. I know, it's a bit radical, but hear me out. So we are going to start adding in those details. So with each flower's got 3 layers, and then the leaves have got 2. So we do want to go in with a little bit of extra dark color there to kind of really bring in those details. And can you see? Woo! Looks so good, doesn't it? So with the 3rd stencil, we are going to go for our darkest color. So we're going to go for the marigold again. And you might have seen that I swapped to some of the itty bitty brushes instead of the big brushes. And that I do like to do this when I have really small little details to do, because you do get so much more control with these small ones rather than the big ones. So it would just save you some time, like masking and, like mistakes in general. But I mean, I completely understand that if you think that this is super extra, because it is a little bit super extra, but, I was going through a phase there when I was just, like, going crazy for, like, brushes. So I have no excuse other than the fact that I bought these many moons ago, and I have them, so why not use them, right? But for our first layer of leaves here, we are going to go in with fresh pear, and then we're going to add in a little bit of grassy knoll, just to kind of, again, bring in that kind of depth and detail to our leaves. So they're not just kind of like 2D, we want them to be 3D. And these little berries here, I have also kind of masked off a little bit. And another reason why I do sometimes most of the times I do wipe off the stencil in between is because I'm swapping color. So I don't want to get that color contamination between the colors on the stencil already. So here I'm using some little scraps of paper. I'm also using some old Post-it tape. And the thing with the Post-it tape, if you're trying to use the meth mask, is that you do have to wipe your stencil, because if there's ink between the stencil and the Post-it tape, it just doesn't stick. So top tip number 3, I think we're on. So for our final layer here, we are going to go in with olive, which is quite a dark green, but it's a delicious green, and it gives loads of brilliant details. And that is the ink blending finished. So let's have a little close up and look at these delicious flowers, because they really are delicious. I mean, look at them. Oh, so pretty, so gorgeous. And then I thought, you know what, let's add a little something to these, shall we? So we're going to grab stencil number 1 again. And the reason we're using this is because we're going to splatter some gold watercolor on these. Yes, I know, the one trick pony is back. But she has no regrets, so we're going to go for it. And the reason I'm using the stencil is so that these splatters are just going to go on the flowers. Now, I nearly went crazy on my desk, but I remember to bring out my splatter box to make sure that some of the splatters, well, I say control the splatters a little bit, but you know, there's only so much you can control splatters. But here, they really just did go where I want them to go, which was on the flowers. And then while I had all of these delicious and yummy inks out, I thought, you know what, let's do another one. So here I have actually mixed and matched some colors for the flowers. So we've gone in with some yellows and some peach and some pinks, just to kind of like really bring in some like depth and detail. And then for the leaves, we have gone with some teals and greens. And I must say, I didn't think so, but this turned out to be my favorite. Look at that. Oh! So this one was just kind of like a pure experiment, and I absolutely love how that turned out. Love, love, love it. Yes. So we're going to compare the two next to each other, and then, you know, depending on whether you like kind of more natural colors, you're obviously going to want to go for the one with the left, and then if you want a little bit more like shush, you go for the one on the right. So we are going to use the coordinating die cut to cut both of these out. And you might notice that there are some extra little pieces when you cut them out, but it doesn't like take anything away from these images at all. And you know what? When I noticed that gold splatter on the yellow one, I thought, you know what? Let's add some to this one as well. And it is delicious. I love how this turned out as well. And then it's time to make some backgrounds. So this is the new Diamond Dazzle hot foil plate, and I know. I say this with every single hot foil plate from Crafty Meraki. I love this one. I might have made like 10 backgrounds, yes. But for this one, we're going to use champagne and rainbow, because, you know, gotta use a rainbow foil. So we're gonna cut out some pieces, and we're going to start with our champagne foil. So we're gonna roll this out, and then we're gonna cut it with some circular fabric cutters. This is a brilliant tool to use to cut foil. It's super easy. Yes, and if you have them on hand, might as well use them, right? So we're gonna use the white cardstock actually with this foil one. And while that is heating up on the glimmer machine, we're going to cut out another piece of foil, this time the rainbow deliciousness. That is the rainbow foil. I don't know why I can't say that properly, but it's just such a delicious, delicious foil. So yes, we're gonna definitely do one of those as well. And then we're gonna run this through our die cutting machine. I'm using the Platinum 6. And then we're going to peel and reveal. But because we're going to do another piece, we're going to pop this right into our platform again. And then, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Oh, look at that prettiness. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Ugh. And this piece we're definitely going to keep. So we're going to do some negative foiling on that one. And then we're going to speed this up a little bit. We're going to do this second piece. And just, you know, again, with the white cardstock. It looks absolutely delicious with the white kind of background. I've also tried this with black cardstock, and that is like wowza. But here's the peel and reveal. Again, are you sitting down? Are you ready? Oh, it's so good. Now, there was a teeny tiny bit of overfoiling on this one, so I'm going to, you can see it there. So I'm going to take my microfiber cloth and just gently rub this all over, and that will get rid of a lot of it. Yes, I didn't know this beforehand, but ooh, it's such a good tip because most of us have microfiber cloths in our craft rooms to clean up stuff anyway. And here is that matte cardstock, black cardstock. So, you know, I was like, well, while I have my machine all hot already, might as well go, right? So, you know, let's do it. This hot foil plate is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And here it is with the champagne. This is the rainbow on white cardstock, and here is the rainbow on black cardstock. So, oh, I mean, I immediately knew that the yellow flowers were going to go with the champagne foil. But in here, I was like, ooh, is it going to be white with a rainbow? Is it going to be black with a rainbow? Ooh, this or that, this or that. Oh, it was going back and forth so many times. And I was like, oh my goodness, girl, just pick one, pick one. But I decided, you know what, I can't pick one right now. So we're going to start with making this card. So we're going to trim this down so that it actually fits on an A2 card base. So that, you know, is usually the beginnings of a card base. So we're going to just keep this super, super simple. So that is going to be it. And then I thought, you know what, we're just going to trim these two down. And then maybe as I'm trimming these down, I will be able to make a decision. Yeah, sometimes it is very like last minute, like what is going to go on a card and what's not going to go on a card. But this black one, it is a little bit overfoiled, but I think it kind of adds to the wowness of this background. It's just so like kapow. But when I then actually kind of put it onto a card base, I was like, I think this is going to be it. Yeah. And surprisingly, I only needed to test this once, one each. And then I was like, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to do this. Yes. So I wasn't 100% sure yet, though. I know. So many ups and downs. So I thought, you know what? We're going to work on this yellow one because I'm pretty sure I know exactly what I want to do with this one. So I cut out another piece using the die cut. And then I'm just adding some liquid glue to this. And then we're going to pop that yellow flower on top. And this just gives it a little bit, it's not a massive amount of height, but it's just enough to kind of make it a super flat card. So the hot foil background is going to be glued down, and then we're going to glue these flowers on directly. Like, you know, it's 2 layers, but it's still a pretty flat card, but it doesn't feel super flat, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense to myself, but it just adds a little something, you know? A little something. And that background. So delicious. I love it. So here I was like, you know what, girl, you got to stop it now. Just add this to a card base. And I did go a little bit extra with some foam tape on this one because I still wanted it to be, I mean, I know it's different colored foils and it's different colors of the flowers, but I still wanted the design to be a little bit different. So I feel like depending on whether you're going to mail these or give them by hand, you can either do the foam tape, or flat. So, you know, that's up to you. But then, you know, of course, a card can't be a card without some sentiments. And also, we will be adding some bling-a-ling-a-ling to these. So the sentiments are from Good Vibes. And I have actually heat embossed 3 in gold. I wasn't sure which sentiment I was going to use for which card. But I like all 3 of these, so they will all work. So for the super rainbowy, sparkly one, I decided to go with You're Amazing. And for our yellow card, it's going to be Your Kindness is Infectious. So I thought that was a really nice one because yellow roses, I read somewhere, is like a sign of friendship. So I thought, you know what? Let's do that. Yes. So these are just going to be glued down super, super simple, pretty much right in the middle of the cards. And then we're just going to trim off any excess pieces. And here I decided I almost left those sticking out, but then I thought, no, let's just cut them all out so that it's all straight edges. And then we're moving on to almost, I think, apart from foiling, my favorite part of card making. It is adding the bling-a-ling-a-ling. So I am going to be using the limited edition dewdrops. So I was thinking maybe some of these fairy garden gems. And again, I thought, you know what? I know for sure I want to use the daffodil and apricot ones on the yellow card to kind of bring in those colors in there. And I wasn't sure whether I was going to use the Aurora dewdrops or these fairy garden ones, but I decided to go for the Aurora dewdrops, and I'm so glad I did because they are amazing. The ones that are placed on top of the colored foil, they actually make the gems kind of shift color a little bit. It looks super, super stunning. I really wish that you could see this card in real life. Those dewdrops, they are so delicious. So delicious. If you haven't got them already, you must get yourself some. Remember, they are limited edition. So once they're gone, they are gone. So, oh, don't tell me I didn't warn you. But these are the cards ready and finished. I would love to hear which one is your favorite. So please drop me a comment down below. And I will be back very soon with more of this ink blending fun. So do make sure that you are subscribed to the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel and hit the little bell button so you don't miss any of our uploads. And that is it from me for today, and I will see you very, very soon again. Bye for now!